Hello, how are you? If you're good, great, I'm happy. If you're not, I'm glad you're here. Today is January 2nd, the day after New Year's Day, 2026. I want to talk a little bit about responsibility today. And I think that it's very easy lately to kind of have this. I don't like to throw around the phrase victim mentality because there are legitimately many victims these days. And I don't think that that should be trivialized. I don't think it should be cast aside. However, I think that a lot of people today want to play this victim role that, if things get stressful, they blame it on their anxiety. If things get difficult, they blame it on their other perceived mental illnesses. And there's got to be a place, there's got to be a time where you take a step back and kind of look at your situation and realize that you are the architect of your own reality. Some people take that to a dizzying conclusion, but I think that it's important that you realize that you really are in control of yourself. You may try to blame, maybe your landlord keeps bugging you for rent because you're 2 months behind. Maybe your job keeps hassling you because you were 15 minutes late again because of traffic or whatever. But ultimately, you are in charge. Ultimately, you get to decide what your existence really is going to be. I know that's hard. I know that's maybe not what you came here to hear, but you have to accept that you have some responsibility in your existence. You can't just keep blaming the system or your parents or your boss or your significant other or your family. You just can't blame everything that goes negatively in your life on those outside influences. You do have to carry some responsibility for that. And I think once you can do that, once you can start seeing that you do have some say in how things go, you do take some responsibility in maybe the mistakes that have been made, I think that's when you can really start to grow and learn. I have a saying that I like to throw around is that nobody has ever learned anything from doing it right. If somebody thinks I'm smart, I don't agree with them. I let them know that no, I'm not smarter than you or smarter than anybody. I have just experienced all the mistakes in how to do something the wrong way and learned from those mistakes to figure out how to do things the right way. I think a lot of that comes from this mentality where people feel like, oh, I don't know how to do anything. Please help me, do this for me so that, I can be happy. I don't think that that gets the job done. I think teaching somebody how to do something by allowing them to do it wrong is the best way to learn how to do something right. Now, obviously, you don't do that for life-threatening type things or anything that somebody's going to get, terribly hurt. But let's say you're teaching somebody how to change a tire. I would not just do it and then talk through it and show them how to do it. I would say, here are the tools that you probably need. What would you do first? And then as they do it, I would watch. And if they're about to do something terrible that's going to damage either the car or hurt themselves, I would step in. But I'm happy to allow them to do it wrong, have them realize that they've done it wrong, and have them kind of explore why it was wrong, what they did wrong, and what they should have done. And I think that's the best way to gain knowledge, is to make mistakes. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that it's okay to make some mistakes. I do it all the time, I think it's important. You have to make mistakes so that you can learn how to do things correctly. And I think that ties back into the responsibility of learning and how to become a better person through experience, through trial and error, through failure, to then come back stronger, come back smarter, and maybe even pass along some of that information to somebody else. Not just the information, but the method on how to teach yourself. I'm the first to admit, I don't know how to do anything. I use YouTube tutorials as a lifestyle. That's how I literally do things, you know? So you shouldn't be embarrassed or feel lesser than if you don't know how to do something and you go online and try to figure out how to do it, or you ask somebody and figure out how to do it. So do the things. Don't become so paralyzed in your belief that you don't know how to do things that you will never do them. Try it. If you fail, that's part of the learning process. And if you fail and it causes damage or some negative outcome, take responsibility for that. You did this. You chose to do it, and you did it. And you can then make amends for those things. You can apologize. And this can even be to yourself. You can apologize to yourself. There's been tons of times where I've started to do something and in my head, I'm like, this is probably not the smartest way to do it. And half the time I will mess something up to the point where I now have to either fix it or replace it because I've messed it up that bad. So that doesn't mean I'm beating myself up about it. Of course, yeah, it bothers me. Of course, I lay in bed at night sometimes thinking, oh my God, if I just would have listened to that little voice in my head that says that said, don't do that thing, I'd be in a better place. But I can also accept that I'm in a better place having made the mistake, because now I have that tool in my belt so that I'll never make that mistake again. Because I understand what the consequences were, and I understand that the mistake was something that I could have avoided. So this is just my second video, and I really don't know what the format is yet. I don't know what the pacing should be like. I'm trying to edit out all my dumb stuff so that it makes it for a little bit of a better experience for you to listen to and maybe get something out of it. Please remember that you are you, and you are responsible for you. Even if you're, 13, 14, you're learning how to be your own person. But as an adult, you are responsible for you. And blaming your existence or your hardships or your anything on anybody else is just delaying the time that it's going to take you to grow and learn that you are you and you are responsible for you. See if maybe those words might resonate with you. If they don't, that's okay too. Maybe you've figured yourself out. Maybe you aren't in a place yet where you're ready to hear those words. Understand that if you come to some epiphany that these words have made sense to you, let me know. Let me know if I'm doing good or not. Somehow, I think accidentally, 4 people watched my video from yesterday, the very first one. That's kind of cool, I guess, by accident. So 4 people watched the video. Let's see if that turns to 8 today. We'll see. I'll see you tomorrow.